Okay, hello everybody. It's Ed Rosenberg, and I am speaking to Rabbi Issamar Ginzberg, who is going to honor us with speaking at the event on April 27th. Rabbi, how are you doing?
Baruch Hashem, doing wonderfully. How are you?
Okay, very good. First of all, Rabbi, I appreciate that you were finally able to make this happen. I've tried to get you previously, and it wasn't easy, and Baruch Hashem, it happened now. So
I want you to know that I never accept speeches. I try never to accept speeches on Thursday night because I always, even though I travel a lot, I always try to be home for Shabbos. I said yes to you this time because I figured that it was good for the people that are attending. I managed to make it work out, and yeah, it worked out. But it shouldn't have worked out, but it was meant to be. So Baruch Hashem, I'm happy that it's happening.
Okay, okay, good. So I'm very, very happy that it's happening. My question to you, which I'm sure you get all the time, like, what's your background that you were able? It's not really a question which I would ask, but I know it's a question which people who are watching this will ask. And that, what's your background that you got to this point that you're giving tips to Google on marketing?
Well, there's a Yiddish expression which is the emes is the best elegant, which means the best lie you can possibly tell is the truth. I kind of don't really know exactly how I ended up doing this, meaning it wasn't like I got up and then I didn't like 10 years ago say, okay, I want to do that, let me slowly build a way there. Essentially, many years ago, when I was still a kid, somebody hired me to pack shirts in a warehouse. And after packing shirts for a couple of days for $5 an hour, whatever I was getting, he happened to mention to me that he was looking to start a new brand of shirt. So I went home that night and I created a brand for his new shirt company. And within a couple of months, this idea that this kid being paid $5 an hour to pack boxes became a real shirt brand. What's interesting about that story is that when I did the brand, he said, "How many hours did it take you?" I said 2. So he gave me like $20 for my work. And I remember feeling somehow like violated by the fact that what I did was worth so much more. But from that person's perspective, if he was paying me $5 an hour to pack shirts, why would he pay me so much more than that to sit in my house in an air-conditioned room and design something? But again, even as a kid, I saw that I have a talent. I saw that my things were going from my head to becoming real-life products and things. And from there, Baruch Hashem, it's been a very long road, a very exciting road.
Right. So what are you going to offer large Amazon sellers? Like, what kind of advice can you offer?
I'm not an Amazon seller, so I can't tell you anything about sales rank and all that kind of complicated stuff. I leave that to the Mavinim, the experts in that line. What I do have an understanding to, Baruch Hashem, something called a Venn diagram. A Venn diagram is when you take 2 circles, basically there's a little part where they overlap in a shaded area. And essentially, if you take business, you take psychology as the 2 circles, you put them together. My comfort zone is that little place where they overlap between business and psychology. Essentially, what makes people buy more, what makes people like a product, how to turn a product into a brand, how to get people who find you by mistake to become loyal fans. Essentially, I believe that Amazon is a very dangerous place, and I do not believe, and this is gonna, I'm saying this in something that's gonna be recorded and can be listened to when I have a long white beard in Mitzvah Shem as well. I wonder if, but Amazon will not be the same way it is now in a couple of years' time. I'm happy that people are making lots of money on Amazon. I have many clients who, Baruch Hashem, do very well on Amazon. But at the same time, I don't want, and there's obviously, as you know, many people who think that Amazon is like, they used to think in Europe that the streets of America were paved with gold. They think like Amazon is the end all. Amazon is a dangerous place. It's a place where you can make a lot of money. It's a place where you can lose a lot of money. And it's a place where you can do what they call in Yiddish, "Man kan muln Wasser." You can, how you say that in English? You can essentially grind and grind and grind, but if it's all water going through, you're not really ending up with anything after you figure out everything involved. But essentially, Amazon is my version of, let's call it 13th Avenue or a shopping mall. Amazon's goal is to have a place essentially where shoppers exist. That's what they are now. Now, if you are there and the shopper's there and they want potentially the product you have to offer them, that's all wonderful. But as Chazal tell us, a person has to have his wits about him and has to think ahead and has to think about how to leverage Amazon for their own benefit as opposed to leveraging Amazon for Amazon's benefit. Because, let's not kid anybody. Jeff Bezos makes, if you read the book, I forgot which book is it? One of the books I read on Amazon. He says quite clearly there, and this is, quite public, that His goal is not to have third-party sellers. It's very nice that in the meantime, people, they make money. His goal is ultimately, I'm not quoting him, but essentially to take over the world. So if third-party sellers are the way to go, at least for now, that's wonderful. But Amazon actually works on two separate levels, as your attendees most probably know. One is they're a seller, and the second is they're a marketplace. And in most businesses, those two things conflict with each other. Amazon has somehow managed to make that work until now, but I do not expect that to be the case forever. Will there be some version of third-party sellers? Probably. I don't know if Amazon's ever going to get into the business of making sweaters with 3 arms for people who unfortunately have 3 arms. But just like there's pins on Amazon Basics, and they have a furniture company, and they have all these different brands. Ultimately, Amazon is not there. Amazon is not your friend. They say it's like, it's like in war. Sometimes you have someone who's on your side, but he's not necessarily your friend. In the Second World War, Germany and Russia weren't friends. And then when Russia switched sides, America and Russia weren't friends. But for the purposes of where they were right now, they're on the same team. Mm-hmm. Amazon sellers, third-party sellers in Amazon may seem to be on the same team now, but they have very different goals. Amazon's goal is to make money, and your goal, Amazon sellers' goal, should be to make money for yourself as opposed to making money for Amazon. So it's all about using Amazon as the funnel to get people to grow further, and not to just sit there and let Amazon essentially eat you up.
Right. What's happening today with the third-party sellers, like, they don't really need me to sell Ray-Ban sunglasses, but they do need me, not me personally, but they do need somebody like me who has innovation. So Amazon can't come up with 100,000 different brands and categories. There's a lot of innovation on Amazon. And today, the real money for third-party sellers are sellers that are coming up with innovations.
There's no question about that. The reason why, when you buy a house, a broker gets a fat commission. When you buy when you take an Uber, Uber gets a couple of cents on the transaction, even though it's also essentially brokering a deal between a car service driver and a person who wants to go someplace, is because the harder it is to do a brokerage deal, the more spread there is in that brokerage. Stock transaction, 100 shares of IBM or 100 shares of Amazon is 100 shares of Amazon, no matter who you buy it from. Mm-hmm. When you're buying a house, because it's a more difficult transaction, every house is different, every transaction is different, therefore a broker deserves more money for his work. Now, anyone who's on Amazon or on eBay or any of these things, essentially doing closeouts or whatever, is always, behind the 8 ball, every month looking for something new, looking for something different, looking for some advantage, some kind of arbitrage. It's all very nice, and in the short term, you can maybe make a, flash in the pan cash, but it's not a long-term good business goal to have. It's not a place to grow. It's like people selling stuff out of the back of their car. That's not where you want to be in 20 years' time or 10 years' time or 5 years' time. Right. And therefore, 100%, the way to grow is by having products that are innovative, that are different at the same time. I do believe that if your product is too mainstream, meaning say if there's nothing about your product if people who want to buy crayons, yeah, okay, maybe they want Crayola crayons, but ultimately, how much do they care if it's a Crayola crayon or an Amazon Basics crayon? If it's a good crayon, depends what they need it for. If they need it for their kid for school, it's good, it's guaranteed, it's from Amazon. How could I go wrong? They'll give me money back if it doesn't work. Done. It's when you have something, when people want something specific. I'm not buying Amazon Basic batteries. I want Duracell batteries. I want Energizer batteries, and so on. Then you have the additional advantage of the branding, which is not just how much money you spend on advertisements, but it's an actual knowing there's some special reason to take this over that, and that's the point you want to reach essentially in your client's heads. Either they're coming to you because of the innovation, or they're coming to you because you're cheaper, because you took advantage of Amazon's current mishmash where they stand right now and a little bit of confusion that's left, and use that to build a proper brand going forward.
Mm-hmm. Okay, that was very good. So I got a nice flavor of what the presentation is going to be about. So,
if people feel that they're too advanced, I mean, again, I'm not an Amazon seller. They have lots of expertise I don't have. I don't pretend to be an expert at what they know. Maybe they do pretend to be an expert. Maybe they are an expert at what I know. But anyone who already knew everything that I just said should enjoy the buffet and not come to my session.
Okay, well, I really appreciate it. And I'm looking forward to meet you, and many others are looking forward to meet you as well. So thank you very much for accepting.
Thank you so much. Looking forward to it.
Absolutely. Well, thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.